Hey everybody, wake up. This is Wake Up with Mark Joyner, episode number 103. And today we will talk about how procrastination destroys your soul. All right, first let's talk about some solutions. Okay, before we talk about how deep this problem is, it's probably a bigger problem than you realize. I want you to go to simpleology.com / the number 4 and then the word patterns all together. So simpleology.com / 4 patterns. What you're going to get there is a little comic book called The 4 Patterns of Chronic Procrastinators. And it's going to help you identify some of the patterns that you will inevitably see in your life. Almost everybody I meet has all 4 of these patterns going on at the same time. Some may be more dominant in your life than others, but it's very important that you identify them and disrupt them if you want to solve this problem. Now, let me give you a little bit of motivation for getting in there and doing this. Procrastination destroys your soul because it's very, very subtle in the way it messes us up. So the way it normally begins is it starts with a little tiny distraction, right? You see something on your computer, a notification that distracts you, and you think, oh, I'll just go check this out for a quick second. Okay. Now, first off, there is no quick second. What happens is you're shifting your focus from one thing to something else. If you are in the middle of something involving deep focus, getting back into deep focus is going to take you at least 5 to 15 minutes before you can get your brain to kick in at that same level of deep focus. So a tiny micro distraction is a lot bigger of a problem than most people think. They think, oh, I'll just quickly check this out. Now, there are people who allegedly were able to master this. Stanley Kubrick, the great director, for example, the great film director, was allegedly able to focus on things and then get distracted and then shift back over to his focus. And he was constantly working like that. But I want you to observe something. Stanley Kubrick also took years to make films. Okay, it took him much, much longer to make a film than it would other directors. I have a feeling that maybe his habit of allowing people to disrupt his workflow might have had a little something to do with that. I didn't know Stanley. I never met him. I didn't observe his work patterns, but it seems to make a little bit of sense. Now, the next thing here is this. I want to identify another pattern that you may recognize. So when we get distracted and we're procrastinating on getting the work done, and then we look back on our day and we didn't get as much done as we would have liked, we don't feel good about ourselves. Our self-esteem takes a hit. Now, what do we do when we experience any kind of pain in our lives? Most of us are going out and we are looking for a quick fix. So when our self-esteem drops, we then go out and then we engage in the same behaviors that were making us procrastinate in the first place. And then this just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And some people have gone so far down this rabbit hole that their entire days are filled with mostly looking at stuff that is designed to give them that quick little dopamine hit that everybody knows now. Social media and all of the internet companies are deliberately designing their software to stimulate in you. All right. So that quick little dopamine hit is going to relieve some of your pain, but you're always going to have this nagging sense in the back of your mind that you're not becoming the person that you know you can become. So then you go out and then you re-engage in that problem. You feel worse about yourself. You re-engage in the problem again. You feel worse about yourself, and then you re-engage in the problem again. Now, this manifests in a lot of different ways in a lot of people. Okay, a lot of people like to go out and spend time drinking with folks. I can see how from time to time, this is going to be possibly a positive thing because it helps you bond with people. But I want you to explore the possibility that maybe you can go out and bond with people without consuming a toxic chemical that is known to destroy brain cells and damage your liver. Okay, your brain and your liver are both very, very important. This becomes another way that people procrastinate. And so they wake up in the morning and then they have a hangover. They're not performing as well as they would like. So then, they look back on their day, which was not as productive as that would have been if they had been operating on, all 8 cylinders in their mind, if you will. And then they go out and then they have to, drown their fears, drown their sorrows again with more alcohol or, even stronger things. So here's the thing. If you don't get in control of this process, it is going to dictate the entire course of your life. It's not going to fix itself. You need to get in there and deliberately fix it. You need to change your relationship with all of these little triggers that are pulling you off your path. And you need to change your relationship with your life in general if you want to fix this. You need to reprioritize things in your mind. There are a lot of things that we tell ourselves are important. And I would ask you to question, how important is it that you watch the news every single night? It's something that's a ritual for a lot of people. How important is it that you watch X, Y, or Z show? I engage in shows from time to time, but less and less over time as I become more and more aware of this kind of phenomenon. I try to watch stuff that is only going to be stimulating for me. This is why, some of the only shows I've watched, in recent years are things like Black Mirror and Game of Thrones, even though it wasn't as good after season 5. There's still some deep stuff in there. There's still some legitimate human nature wisdom I can glean from watching these shows. But I try not to make that my preferred thing. I don't make it a nightly thing. Nightly, I want to engage in behaviors that are going to help me sleep better at night, and then thus help me feel better the next day. So go to simpleology.com/4, and then the word patterns. Simpleology.com/4 patterns, all lowercase. And that little comic book is going to help you identify 4 of what are, I think, probably the most 4 common ways that people are procrastinating today. And it's going to show you exactly how I disrupt those problems in my life and how you can as well. And with that said, you guys have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.